All right, hello, hello. This is day 25 of studying compilers every day until I land a compiler role. As you can see behind me, I just grabbed my laundry, so I'm a little bit winded, but still here to stream, still on time, still here to write some code. Today's list of things will be a little bit different, actually. There's still the usual leetcode stuff, the same usual stuff on my personal compiler, but a new thing. I got assigned an issue on the LVM codebase. So if I have time, I might give it a look. Yeah, I might take a look at open source stuff. NYT crossword. Yeah, we'll see. The pacing, we'll have to see with the pacing. I got a whole lot of stuff to zoom through today. Minimum operations to make the energy zero. Interesting. Wait, what? Eh? What? I'm so confused. What is this asking? So you have num1 and num2, and you can choose integer I and subtract that from num1. I see. Is this a DP problem? So with this one, so we take 2, we subtract that number from, oh wait, I see. So -2 comes from this. So then 3 subtracting that, so you get 1. You do that again, you get -1. Okay, sure. I'm gonna look at the topics at least. Enumeration. Okay, well, crap. That's a little annoying. Okay. How do I even begin with this? It's like kind of like BFS almost. Like not really. Oh wait, this is like bitmanip. I see where bitmanip comes from. So in what world is it impossible to make num1 equal to 0? Peace ride, true. What's good, MD? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm gonna... What? Oh wait, I think I get this now. I think I kind of get this. So you can do it in. We can do it in like the number of 1 bits in num1 operations. None. Yes, so I figured that much out. So wait. Yeah, 60 operations makes sense. So then I don't get it. Huh? Brain teaser? Of course it's a brain teaser. Yeah, that seems roughly correct, MD. I'm not really getting how this would work. Okay. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I. What? Why? Hey. Huh? If it's possible to make num1 equal to 0, we need at least, at most, 60 ops. I'm not getting this. I'm really not getting this. If n equals 0, but only subtracting powers of 2 from n. So the number of bits is the minimum, yes. And then why is n the maximum? Excalibur, that is Aiden's thing, unfortunately. I'm not even understanding the hints, that's the problem. Asian grandparents aren't proud of you? Yeah, I already know. Broken calculator. Anyway. I'm quite confused. I'm gonna look at the editorial. So where does the 60 number come from? That's the big question. Start enumerating values. of operand k. So that's num2. So you enumerate each number, we check whether the current number can make oh. What? So the operation performed k times. It's equivalent to subtracting that, and then what? I'm so confused. Maybe if I just look at the code? Is the Python more readable? No. Okay. Wait, what? What is this? Where does that come from? Bit count. That's crazy. This problem doesn't make sense in any regard. I am so confused. What is this shit? Alright, so we try subtracting the thing if it's less than what? So then that's an impossible branch. And then what? Okay, well that didn't help me at all. Let's read through this again. Wait. So we can enumerate the values. We enumerate each number. We check whether the current number of operations can make num1 equal to 0. So we return the current k value. Sure. Is there a better explanation anywhere? Simple solution, no explanation whatsoever. Okay, man. That's very helpful. This doesn't help me in any regard either. Huh? Okay, this makes roughly sense. But then... Okay, so I'm starting to like kind of figure out that there's a subtract thing, but what is that subtract thing? So if key operations are used, then num1 equals num2 plus that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we can split this thing up. So we have this. And then that number. And then okay, wait, I'm still not understanding this. Search the answer space. Anyone else in chat figuring out what's happening here? Because I'm quite lost. Num1 is smaller than num2. What? Is there like a... Okay, I'm gonna see if there's like a video solution for this. I am very confused. Oh, there's a leetcode video. Okay. I'm allowed to watch this on stream. I hope I'm allowed to.
Hey everyone, welcome back, and let's write some.
Let's speed this up.
This problem. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on. Not so much on the math, or at least as little of the math as I have to, because yes, this problem is mathematical in nature. You can't really avoid that for this problem. So first, what I like to do is just learn the rules of the game. Get familiar with it. We have an integer n. In this case, it's 3, and we're doing bit operations. So let's remember what a 3 looks like in binary. It looks like a 1, 1.
Yeah, the quality itself is quite bad as well because
we can only do 2 different operations. We either change the rightmost bit, so we're always able to change the ones place. So if we swap it now, we will change it to 1, 0. If we were to change it now, we would change it to 1, 1. So in a way, we can either add 1 or subtract 1 from whatever number we have. So we have 3 in either, or in this case, actually, backwards, this is subtracting 1. So we can change this into a 2, and then we can change it back into a 3. The other operation is a bit complicated, actually. We can only change, like an arbitrary bit. We can change any bit in this number, and let's actually change the number to make it bigger. Let's make it 1,000. We can change any of these bits if and only if. Let's take this bit.
Oh wait, this is the wrong problem, right? Yeah, this is the wrong problem. It's gonna be a better... Hopefully this is an explanation. You live in Wyoming? Nope. Okay, well this is not working. Yeah. I'm so confused. Guys. Guys, my streak might be cooked, guys. Let's define the values of k and the powers of 2 that make num1 equal 0. The minimum combination of k and the powers of 2. Kind of set bits, and the diff represents the number of powers of 2 needed to construct the remaining what? Okay, this is dense. I need to slow down. The count of set bits in the diff value represents number of powers of 2 needed to... Okay, that makes sense. Oh, I think I get it. I think I get it now. Wait, I think this makes sense. Okay, wait. Okay. Let me see if I can try and explain this. This is gonna be a little bit messy, but I think I can kind of try and explain it. Yeah, this explanation is gonna be like a little bit crap, so apologies in advance, but I'll give it a shot. So let's get rid of the code. So we can pick numbers in this range and subtract that power of 2 plus num2 from num1. So let's say we have some num1 value here. Num1. So what we want to do is we want to, at every iteration, we want to subtract num2 and then count the remaining bits in num1. And then if the remaining, and we also keep count of how many times you subtract num2. So then we have like bit count here as well on the side. And pretty much what we want to do is we want to make sure that like whatever each current value at like this step is the same as the number of bits remaining. Or I guess like the number of bits remaining in whatever this value is 0 rather. That's like a very bad explanation. I can't really I'm not really sure how to explain beyond that, but so I guess let me try a different way. So we have num1 and num2. Let me let me handwrite these better. So then the final answer, so the final answer, assuming that num1 can be made equal to 0, given this whole mess, would be num1 minus, and then all this num2 stuff equals 0. And all this num2 business can be written as, let's say k times, so we're trying to, yeah, so k times num2. That green is unreadable, holy hell. And then, so that handles the num2 part of this at each iteration. So k times num2 should be pretty intuitive because we would be subtracting num2 however many times. And then this 2 to the I part is interesting. So if you think about what 2 to the I is, you can pick any I. So that is basically taking the bit representation of whatever num1 minus whatever num2 is, and then subtracting a bit from that. So we have this thing minus, and then in here we put like k of 1 plus k2 plus whatever. And each of those is like just whichever bit we're subtracting from the remainder of num1 minus k times num2. This would be plus, by the way. Whoops. So I guess like to make this a little bit more clear, let me move this up so I have space. Yeah, that'll do. Let me just zoom this in as well, so it's readable. And then let's do a little bit of hole patching. There we go. So we can rewrite this whole thing into num1 alright, I guess like we can just regroup. We can mess around with the parentheses and we end up with like num1 minus k times num2. Let me just do the colors. This writing with mouse thing is really awful. And then this plus becomes a minus. So we have minus I'll just copy this because I'm lazy to type. So we have that, and then that all equals 0. So if you kind of like think about what this actually means, you are trying to find a number, or the smallest number k, such that when you subtract k times num2 from num1, k equals the number of bits remaining in that number. Is that kind of intuitive as to how we got there? Because I guess the way this like k1 plus k2 plus whatever term is created, that necessitates that there are k bits left. And each of those subtracts one of those k bits. That's good, Janine. Good to see you here. This is the most math I've had to explain to solve a single LeetCode problem. So yeah, let's try and implement this now. I think I kind of understand it now. So we have. So what we want to do here to find k is we want to just keep iterating up k. So we start with k0. Is that the thing? Yeah, we should try it with k equals 0. Yeah, so here we want to iterate across k. So we start with k equals 0, and then while true, then so we want to calculate this term and then count the number of bits in it. So let's first calculate this term, this blue box term. So num1 minus equals num2. So we're subtracting off k minus 1 plus 1 num2. So we're subtracting off 1 extra num2 at each k. So num1 minus equals num2, and then well, how do we get bit count? C++ count number of bits in integer. Built-in pop count. Stood pop count, that's a thing? Let's give this a try. Surely stood pop count exists. And that is a C++ stood pop count. So this counts the number of 1 bits, supposedly. And this returns a I noticed that C comes with a list implementation the other day. I was surprised. Yeah, you'd expect C to just be very bare bones, but there are some goodies in there. So what does pop count return? Int. Okay. So we have int num bits equals pop count of num1. And then if so, there's 2 cases to check here. We need to check that first of all, let's get like the can return case out of the way. So if num bits equals k, then we can just return k. And then the other case is the other case is if we literally have if we literally cannot put more bits into it, I think. Wait, this last part I don't particularly get. Falls within the range of diff. So we have like the can find answer case handled here. So now I need to figure out the can't handle, why that works. Ranked Linux distros right now, Arch is S tier, everything else is F tier. Make the integer 0. Oh yeah, make the integer 0. How did we get the number of steps here? PANNICC is like a negative F tier. I've been quite interested in compilers, especially compiler optimizations. How's the study so far? I have completed LVM's kaleidoscope tutorial, and I've like started working on like a personal compiler. I've gotten through like the front end so far, and I'm currently handling front end codegen to the optimizer IR. And then after that, hopefully I get to start writing some optimizations. So it should be a good time. I don't understand the ceiling for this being 60 yet. Oh, I see. Okay, this makes sense actually. Yeah, okay, so then the ceiling is literally the number itself, I think, is what's happening here. Right? Where does 61 come? Why is it bound by 60? I want to read this. What, display manager? Low-key, are they even necessary? Like, I used, oh, desktop environment. That's very much different. I mean, Hyperland, I don't really think there's any particular better one than Hyperland for Wayland, at least right now. I guess like Sway exists, but like eh. I like my pretty colors, so I will stick to Hyperland. Okay. So assume there is no valid answer for k less than or equal to 60. So then the target must be negative, which I think we have bounded out. So these things are I'm so confused on this. I just use i3, fair enough. You will be the person that actually gets things done. There's like the Linux people that are 10x engineers. I fall into the 0.1x engineer camp, for better or for worse. Why is at most n? Alright, at most n makes sense because we can literally only add n bits to get to there. If it's possible to make num1 equal to 0, then we need at most 60 operations. I don't see why this. I don't get this yet. I feel like I've been staring at this problem for way too long though. i3 has no bells nor whistles, it has key bindings and that is all. It also has gaps. We love i3 gaps. At most n. It's possible to make num1 equal to 0. We need at most 60 operations. Okay, so this doesn't explain the 60 thing at all. i3 gaps. Like literally gaps, the setting to turn on gaps between windows. Why is this bounded by 60? I still don't figure out why. Sure. I'm just gonna accept it for now. If I look at this problem in the future, maybe I'll figure out why. But I don't think today's the day. If x is less than, if num1 is less than k, how do we get there? What? What is happening? If I run this, what happens? Oh, pop count doesn't exist. Stood pop count doesn't exist. Are you kidding me? What compiler version is this? Do I need to like include whatever the thing is? I'm just gonna use built-in pop count. I've been staring at this leetcode problem for like 40 minutes now. I think I'm going insane. This makes little sense. What keyboard and switches are you using? I'm using a Keychron V3, I think. And it has Gateron Oil Kings in it. Start with the powers of two that make up the bits and continue to split part. Yeah. So that makes sense. So where does the 61 number come from? Why? Why? Yeah, of course. What do you mean can be seen intuitively? What do you mean? What? Where does the 60 number come from? $36? It's really, no, it's not. Did someone reply to this? Yes. We want the range large enough to calculate that thing. Where does this 36 number come from? What? Wait, oh, what? Okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense. First value for that. Okay. I don't understand that. It's really easy to understand? Yeah, I wish. Num1 minus k times... Yeah, this makes sense so far. This also roughly makes sense to me. And then I don't understand the ceiling. So I usually use whatever this like stood or this built-in pop count thing is, because stood pop count doesn't exist. Oh, I got rid of k. I return I. And this should also be less than equals. Okay, well that's wrong. Okay, this is wrong. Oh yeah, because it's gonna be negative, yeah. Bit count less than equal. Oh yeah, because we can explode it, yeah. And k is less than. Okay, if it's in the range, okay. Is C++ 20? I thought the leetcode used C++ 23 though. I guess I was pranked. That really sucks. Yeah, I thought it was 17 for the longest time, but then I looked it up and apparently it's 23. Yeah. Oh, do I literally need to include it? Yeah, wait a second. Do I need to do this? That's gross. Wait, let's swap this back and then do that. Does this compile? What? Am I tripping? Like, what's am I like being gaslit? Like, what's happening? Yeah, because like range just didn't work. But what? What? This is irritating. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna use the built-in instead. Why does it have a dunder? Okay, so it does have a dunder, but why does it have a dunder? What? I'm so confused. Why? Why does it do that? Why? Yeah, well, this is I'm so confused. There's too many things going wrong on this LeetCode problem. I don't understand any of the solutions written. I don't know why it's bounded by 60. I don't know why someone says it's bounded by 36. I don't know why pop count has a dunder or prepended by a double underscore. Like, sure, fine, whatever. Do I need this? No, I don't. Huh? Okay, wait, so then what if I put this in here? Yeah, okay, so it's just French, I guess. Sure. We're gonna try the 36 bound that someone wrote. This explained like the 36. Just tune in, where is K declared? Yeah, I used to have it and then I nuked it because I'm still trying to figure out what's even happening here. Yeah, it should be I. Yeah, there's like so many things going wrong with this problem. I don't understand any of the solution explanations. Everyone seems to disagree with what number that is. I don't know how we even get there to begin with. So the max value of this part equals wait, okay, wait. Okay, let me do a little bit of cleanup first. So the problem bounds. How How do we get that max value? Min value if all I were different is that. That makes sense. Yeah, apologies that I've been like staring at this problem for so long. I just really want to figure out what's happening on it. This is definitely not the regularly scheduled compiler work, so yeah. Just bear with me for a little bit longer. I'd very much like to figure out what is happening. Yeah, I am quite drowning in the leet sauce. Yeah, I looked at like the editorial. I saw that like the C++ solution has a built-in. I knew it was just doomed from the start. Take your time. When I used to code on stream, I get stuck on engine bugs all the time. Yeah, fair enough. Number one advice for C++. Don't. Like, do, but also don't. So I'm assuming this number comes from these bounds. So we have num1 equals k num2, that makes sense. But what? Wait. Maybe if I pen this in first, it'll make sense what's happening. So what is this? So we have this 36 number coming from Lord knows where. There's a reason for this to be a long, but I forgot what it was. Oh, it's because this, like, this thing, I think, right? But then why can't I just, like, num1 minus equals num2 instead and avoid that? Built-in pop count LL. Oh lord. Look at this thing again. Actually, I'm I'm just gonna put the problem in chat even. How is doing leetcode equivalent to getting a job? That's a good question. I don't know either. Now, how is it equivalent to studying compilers? It is very much not, but I need to, yeah, I need to get through interviews somehow, so this is like a baseline. I promise there's like more compiler work coming after this. But I've stared at this problem for way too long, so I guess now is like actually the time to start moving forward. Starting point, I'm currently doing compiler research, and I've had like a singular internship of some variety under my belt. So that's like at least already a large jump, but now it's going from there to, I guess, desired specialization. So this thing, num1, less than, so we're just checking bounds for I. And then out here we return -1. Oh, okay, that part makes sense. So it does this pass tests. Whoa. Build, I can't type. I do compiler read algorithm source, study the same implementation in GCC, then build your own. That makes sense. Does this need to be a long? Is that what I'm missing? Cool. So we start with num1. No, that doesn't work either. Oh, 1, right? Huh? What? I feel like I don't deserve to have solved this, because I didn't solve it. I didn't understand shit about it. I understood like bits and pieces of it, and I like stared at like 5 different solutions, and I still didn't understand it. And there's a built-in here, and it's just like, what? This problem's gonna make me tweak out. It's somewhere above in chat if y'all wanted to like stare at it on your own. Yeah, that's enough of that. So we've dealt with this thing now. Yeah, I understand the built-in part, but it's like it's doomed that I had to use it to begin with. So yeah, in terms of like actual compiler stuff now, this is the part that y'all are here for, thank goodness. So in case you're new here, I've been working on this on a toy compiler. It's called PANNICC. The goal is to use modern compiler design principles to go from C down to, or some subset of C down to some assembly language. Currently I have the front end pretty much done, and I've written out the middle end language. So now I'm working on lowering right now. It's also like a terribly pitiful subset of C. It's like we have like some binary operators, we have function calls, and that's pretty much it. So for now, we're just gonna get the very minimal subset working, and then from there I can extend it out to include the things like control flow, loops, all the fun things that are actually substantively interesting. Although I feel like most of that's gonna be interesting just at the at like the front end level, which is, I guess, at the end of the day kind of boring. But there's at least like some stuff that will force extensions of everything else. I've been NVIDIA. I've been grinding neat/leetcode recently to get the skill back. Did 120 plus problems in the past couple of weeks. I have a spreadsheet. Yeah, I think that is a good strategy. Back when I was like first starting the leetcode grind, I would always do one new problem a day at least, and then I would use like a random problem generator that took in like the list of problems I already did, just to like pick a random one. And it helped me with just like solidifying concepts and stuff. Even if it seems a little bit rote memorize-y, but honestly, if it's like picking from the NeetCode 150, I think it's pretty solid in terms of like patterns. Would you use a pre-built assembler for assembling, or would you write the assembler yourself as well? For now, I plan on just using an existing one. Maybe at some point I'll implement it, but for now, I want to just get this to a point where I can start writing like middle-end optimizations. That, and if I can just like have code generated at all in some capacity, I think that would be ideal. So stuff lives in here, I think, yeah. Oh lord, I forgot I have to implement that. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay. I think I need to start with like the global number thing, because then lest we have collisions occur. Yeah, I am very much building the plane as I fly it, so we will see what happens. I need to change this thing up. So we want I'm gonna just make a or not even a const, just a global. So let's just do counter plus plus, I guess. And that should be good for that. And then we just use counter as we go. Okay. Counter as in, I have decided to just avoid messes relating to names and function name, or I guess like variable names, if I'm gonna be like doing like any semblance of optimizer work. And then string comparison is slow, so I figured I may as well just like replace identifiers with just a number. Demangling? Yeah. I guess just straight up mingling. So variables slash values will just lose their names. But I'll figure out some way to map functions at some point. Maybe I should add a to-do to this for myself. Yeah, so we have some semblance of a visitor. So what do we want to do for the declaration? We want an allocate. Maybe I make a current basic block thing, or do I just do basic blocks back, whatever. Yeah, we'll just do back for now, and then I can make it prettier later. Oh, I can't type. Dot base back. Can I place this? Oh, I need to fix this constructor, huh? Where does this live? This is in... Oh, of course it's in the header, yeah. But I need a constructor. I need a constructor, yeah. Because I need at least something in there. So let's first try that, and then I cannot type for the life of me today, for some reason. And then this goes here. And then can I just do like basic blocks 1? Is this valid? No. Or initializer list. What is this thing called? The what is this thing? What is that thing called? Like this thing with the colon. Yeah, initializer list. Call a constructor in that. Is that a thing? Let's get it. When in doubt. When in doubt. When in doubt. Why can't I do something like this for the constructor implementation? what? Oh wait, I'm not. I don't even want to do this anyway. What am I doing? Wait. I haven't made the basic block yet. Of course, this doesn't make sense. Ah, this is so one head. God damn it. Okay. So we don't actually need this, first of all. Yeah, this is not my brightest moment. Yeah, so we don't do this. So I do need a current thing, yeah. No, I'm very much small brain. I have no idea what I'm doing. So we want std vector instruction list. Current instructions? Instruction cur block and naming things is hard. Instructions. Just do that. Oh, this needs to be a pointer. Right? MIR. What the heck is a compiler? It is a program that translates some type of code into another type of code. And most commonly that is some human readable language to pretty much machine code in some fashion. Just write transistors instead? True. Let's do instructions in place back. Oh, I can't in place back here. I need to make a thing. How do I make a thing? What thing do I want to make, even? That is a very important question. I want to make an alloc. So how do I make an alloc again? I forgot what my thing is. Better off just doing binary? True. I really should be working with straight ones and zeros, to be honest. Fortran? Nah, that's too much abstraction. So much control of the programmer lost to time. Where is my alloc? There's my alloc. So that just takes a type, which is nice actually. I still need to use it though? That's fine. You can just use the ones and zeros. That's good enough. So we want instruction. Okay. This should be a MIR instruction. This takes a. Let's just simplify this a little bit. MIR type equals I. Let's just do that. Get type dot. Oh no. Equals to MIR type, and then we put in I get type. That's what we do here. Yeah, we're not even gonna worry about we're not even gonna worry about SSA construction yet. We're just gonna use stack variables here. And I will implement some sort of mem to reg eventually. New mir instruction allocate. High performance computing is a damn nightmare. Yeah, it sure as hell is something. Cool. Where is tag hello world? Coming eventually. Coming soon. Coming soon to a theater near you. And then we want to instructions. Just occurred to me, this is not going to work when I get to control flow because then I need to manage multiple basic blocks. This sucks. I'll refactor when I get there. I'm sure this is a very sustainable strategy. Instructions is missing. Let's make it cur instructions. We want HR to MR.H. That seems fair. I'll figure out like basic block management at some point in the future, but right now each function has one basic block, thank goodness. Yeah, that would not be fun to deal with yet. So the assign value thing. So we want to load and we want a store. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Oh, but we need to like keep a mapping of some sort, huh? Well, okay. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think that is just the theme of the day, or the theme of this section of the stream. So what do we need here? We want that's not the right. This is the right one. We just need a store even, I think, right? Do we even need a load? No, we don't need a load. Yeah, so we can just store, but we need to keep track of the values. Oh, this is actually going to be a little bit messy now that I think about it. So, what do we want this to do? We want it to store and then putter is the result of the allocate. So putter equals get allocate value, and then the value is resolve whatever is in instruction assign value. But then what do we do from here? Because, so if it's a literal, then that's easy. If it's literal, then we just make a number blank. If it's a variable, then we might need to keep a mapping somewhere. We might need to keep a mapping of stuff somewhere. Yeah, okay. And then we can, I think we need to replace it, right? No, we wouldn't need to replace this. Okay, let's keep trying. Why do you want a compiler rule? Just do web dev? Because I don't enjoy web dev. That's the short answer. Okay, so why not? It's just not my cup of tea. Like, there are some decisions for me are rational. This one is not really that rational. I also just find the engineering of compilers really cool, and I think that's enough reason for me to just work on them for the future, hopefully. So how do we... So I need to keep a list somewhere, is what I'm figuring from this. And then what is this supposed to come from? Or what is this supposed to be? What do we want to map? What do I do? What do I even do here? Are you using modern C++ features? I'm dabbling with them. But I'm not using smart pointers for not really a good reason. Yeah, I am very much just raw dogging this. What do I put in this though? So I want it to map to value star at minimum. No smart pointers. It's because when I started, I didn't know they existed, and now it's too late to go back. So, unlucky me. I would thought compiler work would be in C instead, or most jobs at least. The big compiler framework everyone looks at, which is LOVM, it's mostly in C++. How do you get into compilers? What sparked your interest? So it was like my sophomore year of college, and I was like, oh look, the compilers class exists. And like I read the course descriptions and like all the course reviews, and it was like 20 hours a week, and then one of my friends was like, I'll take it if you take it. So then I took it, and then it turns out that I really enjoyed it. So here I am after all of that. It was an insane way to have gotten here, but here it is. Could do. Could do like this, even. How do I store? Wait, because I want this to map from whatever the value was in whatever I did in HIR however long ago. Past me was so bad at writing code, and current me is still bad at writing code. Like, I'm at like this weird point in my career progression where I have like taste, and I can like look at code and be like, yeah, this code sucks, but I don't have like the skills yet to write good code. So it's just like an endless cycle of masochism. It's it's quite the experience. So this is, I have like this stupid symbol table abstraction that I wrote, I think. Yeah, this takes uint64. So I should be storing uint64 in this thing. So I need the C header for that. What is wrong here? Oh. There we go. Where do you learn C++? I learned it from one of my intro sequence classes, and then I never really got to use it again for the most part. When I took the compilers class, it was in C++, but I was like writing like really dog water C++, so I don't really count that. What's this project? It is a compiler from a really narrow subset of C currently that I will be extending. A compiler from that to x86-64. And the idea is to focus mostly on like the modern algorithms behind compilers. So like all of the optimizer stuff is like a central focus. I also want to like re-implement like register allocation, so like mapping the potentially infinite number of variables onto the limited number of registers that are available at a low level. And then like instruction selection algorithms. Maybe mess around with like the tree tiling thing that I read about. I like implemented it once before for that compilers class, but it was like really bad, and I didn't really know what was going on because it was like an all-nighter for each of these like backend algorithms. So I'd like to at least figure out what's happening again. Editor, this is NeoVim. How to compile the compiler? I'm using Clang. So I guess makefile. No, not makefile. CMake. Oh, I guess I don't specify which one. Go for Arch. I do have a second laptop, and that is running Arch, and all my dot files are public. The reason I'm running Windows here and using WSL is because I want to play Valorant. There is no other reason. Also, like, OBS runs a little bit better on Windows, in my opinion. It's a little bit less clunky. Okay, so we have value mappings now. So then I need to add that to value mappings. So this has to be a variable. So I can just directly get value this, I think. So we get I, get value, get variable, get value. Oh, but this doesn't work either. Because this is an alloc. Ah, okay. So this is a pointer, and then I need to like figure out Wait, no, I can just check the type when I pull it out, so it's fine. So this is, yeah, so I can do that. So this equals alloc. I think I can do this, right? Incompatible pointer types. How do I nuke that? Static cast. What does static cast do? Or how does it work, rather? Okay, sure. Static cast to value star? HR value star. Oh, not HR, MIR. Oh, I know what's going wrong. Instruction does not inherit, but instruction alloc does. So I can even just do this. Okay, there we go. Got any recommendations for learning compilers or resources without going to university, or at least figuring out if you like it? I think a good start for like figuring out if you're interested is actually to start with like interpreters. If you've heard of like that one crafting interpreters like online book or books or PDF or like whatever it is, I don't think that's a bad place to start, just to see if you enjoy it, like thinking about like programming languages stuff and like the infrastructure surrounding that. In terms of like compilers proper, there's plenty of resources online. Previously I've recommended like, I think the book is called like Modern Compilers in ML or something like that, by like Andrew Appel, I think was his name, I forgot. Definitely that last name. But I haven't read through it, so I can't really give a like complete endorsement, but at least from the bit I've skimmed, it seems pretty comprehensive. You could also just like look up a bunch of like college professors' slides as well, because a lot of them make them public. What keyboard are you using? I'm using a Keychron V3 with Gateron Oil Kings. Okay, so we have this mapping. So I think this makes everything a little bit less messy. Yeah, okay. So value star putter equals value mappings at. So this gets at I get variable dot get value question mark. I hope this is namespace. MIR. Are you currently unemployed? I am a student, but yeah, I'm currently a student going for my master's. Gonna be doing a lot more compiler stuff formally, academically. I have like some semblance of like an internship for this upcoming summer, but I'm still recruiting. Do you need to practice LeetCode? I think that is just for better or for worse an inevitable part of the recruiting process. So it is kind of just necessary at the end of the day. I'm targeting like Apple is the big one. TensorFlow was interesting, NVIDIA was interesting, but I want to work more on like general purpose compiler stuff rather than like accelerator compiler stuff. So Apple is like the big one, but also like pretty much just all of big tech, honestly, invests decently in compiler infrastructure. I saw like there's also like some Rust compiler rules that I found interesting as well. Okay, so we get the pointer, and then we need to figure out the assigned value thing. So then I might have to use dynamic cast, which makes me sad because it's slow, but here's dynamic. That's slow. Youch. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like this is like it's kind of necessary here. I feel like a lot of compiler development stuff kind of just like takes a lot of like sensible coding rules and just throws them straight out the window. Have you ever tried game development? I had a stint. I tried. Back when I was even in just like middle school, or I guess even just like I went to like a game design camp in like elementary, and it was like kind of interesting. And then I took like a summer class before high school about game dev, and it was like alright. It was definitely interesting, but I've heard too many horror stories about the industry from too many people close to me. And that's largely turned me away from doing that at like a more professional level. And I also feel like while it is fun to make things, I feel like I feel like it doesn't quite scratch the itch for me. What's your master's in? It is in CS, but it will I guess like I'm also going to be doing a thesis, and that will be focused on some sort of compiler work. I worked at Blizzard, by the way. That's really cool. I've heard like a lot of things about the culture being kind of toxic. How much of that did you experience, if you don't mind sharing? / are able to, I guess. Also, I'm taking the value, which is the thing that we're like putting into the allocated stack variable. I'm getting that from value mappings. Or I guess I'm gonna get that from. If it's a literal, then I don't get it from value mappings. I just make a new number. If it's a variable, then I get it from value mappings. Yeah, it's like game dev is one of those it's one of those fields where it's kind of just like I don't really know how to explain it other than like it very much preys on developers' passion for their craft, I guess. From what I've heard, the hours are rough. The hours are rough. The deadlines are also, or I guess the hours are rough because of how tight and stringent the deadlines tend to be. The tiramisu contest is soon. Have you been studying? I have not. I'm gonna be falling behind on that. Yeah, that might be a little bit doomed for me. I've been trying to find my niche. I don't know. I don't enjoy web dev either, but it's hard to know what to go into. Yeah, I don't think Qualcomm's a bad place to look. There's a lot of stuff that you can look at, especially since like Bay Area is kind of where everything tech is. Banking is honestly writing software for a bank is honestly like, it seems like the easiest way to coast, I would say, without having to do web dev. Because like you still need to know what's going on, but like, if you want like a somewhat relaxed sort of career, like fill up a 401k, like work normal 9 to 5 hours, have an evening to spend with the family, I think that's not a terrible place to turn. Big tech is like, from what I've heard, also big tech is also like less towards like the cushy slash like family balanced side, but I guess like every job, the more experience slash like the higher up you get, work-life balance is like a little bit worse. But yeah, I think like I am like somewhat inexperienced in the field, so I would like take my advice with a grain of salt. But I will say that it seems like pretty much every company is every company is a tech company in a trench coat. So you can definitely get very broad with the types of companies you look for. Bachelor's in CS, but work as a QA intern 40 hours. Yeah, I think that's fair. That seems like it could be a little bit dry. I was talking with one of my friends about this because his dad worked on like search engine optimization for pretty much like the past like 30 years. And like I think the conclusion both of us came to was that with like more specialized fields, like if you have a niche that you're like really dedicated to, or you just are very knowledgeable about, the work generally tends to be less dry, because the reason why it's so niche is because there inherently is a lot of depth in whatever subset you're working on. So I would probably I don't think it's a bad idea to like try and break into one of these more specialized subsets of software engineering. It's a smart energy company? That makes sense. I guess that does, I could see that being kind of bland. I hate my job. I guess, where do you work now? I'm kind of curious. I guess where and why, if you don't mind sharing. Also, stepping back into the code real quick. If this branch here is the is identifier and this branch here is literal. So literal, I'm just gonna make a value and then plug it in. So we're gonna mir literal star. This will be value equals and then this gets a type and a value. So the type will be I get value. Oh, I don't have types yet, I just realized. Or I don't have types in the front end. So we will just throw in. We're just gonna throw in this by default. And then, what was the other param? Type and value. So then we get I. Get value. Get value, sure. Yeah, that seems roughly right. Blizzard is a pirate software reference. Oh, I see. Okay, that's pretty good actually. Tiramisu World Cup is where it's at. That's fair. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be getting this many times. Or maybe I should like set them as const or something. Or const expr. I feel like I'm gonna be using these a lot, so we're gonna... So we want HR var. Oh, maybe, yuck. Okay, we're gonna be using auto, I guess. And then HR val equals I get value. Why doesn't that work? Oh, they're different, right. Preferred OS? They're actually quite OS agnostic. The software itself, so like the compiler itself runs roughly on pretty much most of like the mainstream OSs. Like LLVM builds on, I think, pretty much everything. Yeah. What the hell is a compiler? It is a program that translates some language of code to another language of code. That is like the very high level explanation. The specifics are like a little bit more detailed, but that is like roughly what it is. So this project I'm working on is a compiler that turns C code into x86-64 assembly. Oh, I was gonna rewrite this slush out. So we want this one's get variable. It's an item identifier star. This is a item star. Okay, so we do need to do that yucky thing. This is HR val. What's good, Slow? It's good to see you here. Guess I watched a lot of CS stuff? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how it goes. Incidentally, after I started streaming, a lot more like coding every day until X videos started popping on my feed as well. Is this project up on GitHub? Yes. My GitHub is linked in the description, and it should be somewhere on there. It's called PANNICC. You'll know it when you see it. So we make the value. I want to get rid of this train car coupling thing. Does this still? Yeah, okay, this still formats the new line. Unlucky. I think I can... I can just construct once externally here. So I can... I'll optimize later. Let's let's get this functional first. So we make value, then we want, so we make the value, this is a literal, so we don't need to register it. So then we can just make the thing, I guess. So we want, it's just a store, I think. Right? Yeah, this is just a store. So mr instruction store equals new mr store. And what does this take again? Oh no. Where did it go? This lives in here? Did I put it here? Yeah, okay. Oh, it just takes a value and a pointer. Okay, well, sure, fair enough. So it takes value first, so we have value, and then takes in putter. And then we want to add this to current instructions. We push back store. I'm in assembly and data structures right now, so this is above my pay grade, but cool to see. Yeah, you'll get. I'm fairly confident you'll get here at some point. Everyone started from somewhere, and it would be disingenuous for me to say I wasn't at a similar level at one point. This would be a good project for software engineers. Stand strong, you're smart. Thank you, I appreciate it. Are you from San Diego? No, I am not. I think a lot of my information is public, scarily. How do you type so fast? From flaming people in Valorant. I wish I were joking. If I'm familiar with C and Java, how long could it reasonably take to learn C++? In terms of like being able to just write like basic code, I feel like it'd take less than a week even. In terms of like learning the intricacies of the standard library, I think it would take significantly longer than that. There's just so much stuff that I feel like it's really difficult to it's difficult for even like senior software engineers to become familiar with the entire standard library. I asked because I checked your website and your high school is the same as I went to, but same name, different location. Yeah, funny story about something like that. Back in high school, I was taking AP Physics 2, I think it was. The one that came after like 1 or A or whatever it was. This was like 5 years ago, so I'm fairly sure it's 2 because the sequence is like 1, 2, C. But yeah, so we ordered. So like my teacher ordered textbooks because we need textbooks. Ordered from Pearson, and then a month later, they still aren't here. We're like a month or two through our lessons already, and he's like, "Where are they?" So I'm like, he gets this call from Eastlake High School in Texas, and it turns out they sent the textbooks to the wrong school. So then he like contacts Pearson, and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry, we'll send them over." 2 months later, he gets another call from the same high school saying that they sent the textbooks to the wrong school again. So, bottom line, there's a lot of high schools with the same name as mine, I guess. So, yeah, not a not an uncommon problem to have, I guess. I definitely didn't expect it to show up in this way, but that definitely happened. What programming language are you using to code the compiler? Sorry for bothering. First, you're not bothering. I enjoy yapping. If I wanted to just like work on this, I would very much just not be streaming. Second, this is C++. So we've handled the case where it's a literal, so if it's like a number. So if we're assigning a number to it, but now we want to handle the case where we have a variable. Okay. How do we do this? Do I need to make another mapping actually? It just occurred to me. I shouldn't need a second mapping. Yeah, I shouldn't need a second mapping for SSA related reasons. So we want load from variable value in value mappings. And then we want to store above value from or into the allocate putter. Yeah. So we can nuke this now. We can do that even. Actually, yeah, this is fine. I want to separate this. It's prettier. Yeah. I'm building a web app to display college football statistics at the moment. That is a pretty good first project, I think. Or even a good second project. It's just a good project straight up. The best projects are the ones that you are passionate about, because then they're easy to work on, and whenever like some interview asks you about it, you'll be excited to share everything about it. Knowing C++ is already great. Still learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I want to be a web dev. Yeah. I guess the good and bad thing about web dev is that it's always changing and there's always something to learn. For some people, that means that like you're permanent, or because like for everyone that means you're permanently learning, which evens out the playing field, but also it's just like exhausting at some point, for me at least. As much as I joke about like web dev being like, as much as I joke about it being like piss work, it is fundamentally like difficult in its own unique way, and that is something I also respect. So we want to get the value of the other, so we want so this is MR value star other val. So then this is a new instruction load. Actually, let's just call this the load. New instruction load. Oh god. And this just takes type and putter. Okay. So type is going to be a little bit silly right now. So type, because we only have in 64 right now. And then the putter is value mappings. Oh god, I can't type. We want HR val arrow get value. Yeah, that seems roughly correct to me. I'm forgetting a parenthesis. There we go. What kind of job do you want to land by learning this? Some sort of a compiler engineer job. So something like working on the Swift compiler at Apple, or working on like NVIDIA's CUDA compiler. Just sort of positions like that where I get to get paid to make code better. Everyone's doing MERN these days. Is it worth learning? I think it is still very important. Or at least React. It's up to you in terms of like what other parts of the stack you use. I think SQL is quite important to learn, at least in terms of like working on large existing legacy projects. Even if like the newest framework is always changing, companies will want to. Companies have like legacy code bases, and those will be staying pretty consistent. So if you want to like, you can get away with like just knowing a little bit of React if you wanted to work at like a large company that is already very well established. So we have the load, and then we should make this store. Right. We want instruction store. Actually, this should not be that. It should be instruction load because I want to push it into the list of instructions. I was also thinking about doing a project like where I use a game theory algorithm like Minimax to play a game. I think that is a very good idea. If you wanted to be like really, I think like even just like tic-tac-toe or like checkers is not a bad place to start. Like in our school's like intro to AI class, one of the homeworks is literally just implementing Minimax with like alpha beta pruning. If you wanted to be like really ambitious, you could even maybe like make a giant chess engine, and then like pre-compute a bunch of values. What's good, Livy? Good to see you around here again. I want to be rich. That's fair. I guess that's why a lot of people are in computer science. And just like having a good life. Have you dabbled in other low-level languages? I've written some C code, but I'm a little bit rusty on that. And then I've written some Rust. Ironically, more unsafe Rust than safe Rust. So make of that what you will. You prefer compiler rules over backend? It's kind of like a separate realm, sort of. Like, if you were to like go off of the front-end, back-end, full-stack distinction, I think it would fit the best into backend, but it's kind of its own product, sort of. And it's not very user-facing, is the other interesting thing about it. Just love watching people pursue CS topics. Thank you. Welcome to my community. Also, I guess a quick plug for myself. If y'all are still sticking around, make sure you like the stream and sub to my channel. It helps the algorithm very substantially. And while you're down there, also join my Discord. That's the best place to get notified when I go live, because apparently YouTube is like really finicky with that. And you also get to chat with the rest of my community. And also connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me on GitHub. Have you tried Rust? I heard it's fast. Yes, it is very much fast. Think of it like if you took C++ and then like took away the gun that lets you like shoot your own foot. Real quick, let me recall what store takes. It takes value and putter. So we can take the load and then putter. And then we can... And then I just need to push back the two instructions. Makes sense if you come from C++, having C++ mindset leads to a lot of unsafe blocks. Yeah, ironically, I ironically, I hadn't written a lot of C++ before then. That was like, I think, I just like hadn't had a lot of C++ exposure up to that point, which is really funny to think about. But yeah, it's because the project was like a Rust front end for another compiler that used LLVM bindings. So I was pretty much just like calling the existing, or using like C foreign function interface to just like create Rust bindings for it. Do you think creating many projects unrelated to compilers or having a non-compiler role is essential? I think that is still important, even if you want to go into compilers. Like, it's already like hard enough to break into the compiler scene anyway, just because like all of the positions are just so senior. I think having like some other professional experience before that is still important, just to like show general like employability and like getting familiar with like basic software development cadences. And then just like other projects are also nice because it shows that you're like a human being with like real software passion. And like you're able to like learn things quickly, which is big. I think like the least miserable projects to target would be like open source work though. Or like if you were to min-max like relevance to compilers with like project work, I would say like either making your own toy compiler or just like doing open source work on like LLVM or like the Rust compiler. Have you written any Golang? I have not, but I've seen my friends write a little bit of Go. It seems like a nice language. I like it a lot. Why does tech or CS in general exact me? I can't lie, I don't understand what you're asking. Apologies. Oh wait, we can pull some of this logic out even. Probably shouldn't pull this up though. I think this is fine to leave duplicative for now. Let's see if this even builds. Okay, that's fine. Just finished my portfolio, but way too many bugs. Yeah, that's always how it is. It's really hard to like call a project like done as well, so that will always be prevalent. Tips to get a SWE role coming from QA / how you landed your internship. Honestly, it was a lot of luck. Should I? Yeah, I'll pull up one of my old resumes even. Let me look for a good one, because I have them saved for a really long time. Like, if you look here, my most recent one is here, but it goes like way back. Let me find the one I applied with last season, and I think that'll be a good reference. Yeah, I mean, this is not a particularly great resume, but it's at least like something. It's like all the stuff at the top is like pretty standard. Just having like some sort of professional experience. I imagine like QA is already a really good start. This is like professional in air quotes even. So QA would probably score better on average if you were to target like SWE roles proper. And then just a lot of projects really. That's pretty much the big pile. This stuff at the bottom is terrible. Do not include it unless you literally have nothing else. Yeah, it's just like just being familiar with like just like build a lot of things, put that on your resume, put whatever work experience you have on. Yeah, that's roughly it. I mean, I don't think there's too much else to elaborate on here. Why does tech make me excited or curious? I see. I feel like in general, just like pipelining things has been entertaining for me. So like, instead of like, I guess being the person that like directly delivers value, it's always been enjoyable for me to like be someone that I guess helps enable other people to deliver value. So that was I think that's a large portion of why I wanted like lean towards like backend roles. CS specifically, I think was because I just spent a lot of time online as a kid, and I was very much addicted to various video games as I grew up. How fast can you solve 3x3? My PR is, I think, 12 seconds. Nowadays I'm quite watched, so I average like 20 to 30, I think. Alpha Stars is cool. Yeah, I think that was like a class project, to be honest. So it was like, it's kind of like but yeah, you could probably like do some creative stuff for things. If you look through all of my projects, one of them is from a hackathon, and the other three are like, or I guess one of them's a hackathon, two of them are class projects, and then one of them I have on right now, and then two of them that I've previously had on my resume are like things where I noticed something that's like inconvenient in my day-to-day life, and I realized like, and then I was like, yeah, I could just write something to like make this better. So that's like something that could make for a lot of projects. Overly for a resume, yeah, fair enough. I use Word because that's what I started with. Do you ever have imposter syndrome? Plenty. I think the easiest way to get over it is like, even if you have imposter syndrome, recognize that everyone else is also an imposter. I think that helped me significantly. And also just like the general like fake it till you make it mindset. Like, low key, I don't know shit, but I'm still here yapping about like compiler stuff and even like career advice that is like low key above my pay grade. C++ redeclaration error. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, hopefully you find the bug. What games do you play that got you on backend? I guess it's not really like the games themselves, and more just the fact that I was curious like how they worked. My parents were always like not happy with me being so addicted to games, so they always like, they sort of tried to like turn everything into something educational, and I guess like part of that ended up resulting in me kind of just being curious about how things work in general. So I guess it's like a vested in, like wanting to know more about something I have a vested interest in. Would you recommend freelance or finding a job? Yes. I don't think there's a wrong answer there, to be honest. They fit different lifestyles, and they fulfill different needs, I guess. I guess there's like advantages and disadvantages to each. Okay, how do I do this? How do I do the binary ops? I have a binary op instruction, so presumably I just do that. So that lives in here. Yeah. So it takes type, op, left and right. Oh, but I need to wrap this with a store. Yeesh. Okay. That's really annoying. So we want compute the op, and then we want to store into whatever variable exists. Am I at a disadvantage if I graduate in 2022 without internships, but I have like 2 years of experience in contracting and QA internship? I think professional experience outweighs everything. It doesn't really matter when you graduated. The big thing that employers look for is just like, do you have the professional experience in some way? I admire your mission. Thank you. Can you repeat the name of the Apple compiler you want to work on? It's their compiler for the Swift language. Advice for substantial progress on my own projects while managing coursework. Just like consistently making time for it is important. And also just like, I think it really has to be like a sort of side hustle / like hobby for you as well. That's also why like motivation is like so important for projects. Like they have to be something that like you genuinely want to work on. You want a job? Yes, please. I would like employment that makes me happy. Is CS a waste of time now due to AI? I think it is more important than ever due to AI, because people are starting to realize that just because AI can write code doesn't necessarily mean that it will write the code that you want. And I think some sort of a CS education is important in terms of like, I guess, nudging the nudging the LLM to do what you want it to do. Yeah. It's like teaching someone how to bake if you've had previous baking experience versus if you haven't had baking experience, I guess. Feels like I'm doing two things at once, trying to set myself up for an internship, plus trying to excel in classes. If it makes you feel any better, CS GPA matters significantly less than people make it out to be compared to like other industries. Like for industries that require like higher education, like law and medicine, those are very GPA dependent because you have to like get into the post-grad education. And then like business and GPA matters a lot. But CS, I feel like your projects and your work experience matter significantly more than GPA. So as long as you have like a 3.0, you're fine. Or even like a 3.5 would probably be like the safe minimum bound. Do you feel like as more LLMs write code, compiler rules become more important than traditional SWE rules? I think they remain about as important as each other. Obviously I have like a little bit of a bias towards compilers because I feel like they're important. But I think they will both be pretty important. It's just like the job description for a SWE will be different as time goes on. And AI is definitely like the place you would want to go if you want to like just make big bucks, I think. And if you want to like ride the wave. But I also feel like there's a lot of uncertainty as well, whereas compilers will like always be pretty important. Bilingual on resume, I feel like if you have literally nothing else, I think it doesn't hurt to have, but like if you have literally anything else, I would not put that there. Because it's just like, it is like not that high value. You can think of like designing your resume as like a value optimization problem, where you want to like put the things that proportionally give you the best value for your space / words, I guess. How do we compute this op? We don't compute the, wait. Yeah, we create the compute, the binary op instruction. Okay, so let's, the store part's easy, so I'm gonna do this first. How do I do this? So you want instruction, binary op, mir. So let's just call this bin op equals, we'll just declare this for now. Let's just do that for now, and then let's make the store real quick. The store should be pretty easy. mir instruction store. This is the store equals new mir instruction store. This takes the value which we get from bin op, and then the pointer we need to look up. So we need value footer. Yeah, that would be like the bare minimum we need to do here. So we want to look this up from the table that we made. So this would live in here, I think? Yeah, value mappings. We want I, and then we want get variable. And then we want get value. Is there an ideal ordering for a resume? I think your work experience, or skills and work experience, are definitely towards the top. And then I think projects. I don't think there's like a really ideal resume order. I don't think I could really give too much. I don't think I could really give too much good, like too many coherent thoughts on that, because I haven't thought about it a lot. I don't think objective is worth the space, because it's kind of stuff that like you're kind of implied to already have. Like, yes, I want to write code, and yes, I want to like write good code, and it's like, okay, great. Definitely better to add more projects, and you also have like the entire interview to give your objective yap. What terminal are you using, and what NeoVim config? I'm using Westterm, and I guess all of my dot files are on my GitHub. But I wrote my config for both Westterm and NeoVim from hand. Easy plan LinkedIn, I don't think that's bad. Just like if you can apply anywhere, then like you want to apply as many places as possible, I think, roughly. How do you get project ideas? I go through life, and then if there's something that is bothering me that I feel like I can fix with a project, I turn that into a project. Like some project ideas, like one of the projects I had before was like our debate team spent a lot of time waiting for like the info for like the next debate round to come out. So I wrote a bot that pretty much like automatically got information for every tournament live. Another example is like when I was first starting out, one of my first projects was like a Counter-Strike investment tracker because I wanted to get into it, but I didn't want to like use an existing spreadsheet for some reason. Past me was a little bit dumb, but that project got my foot in the door. And it taught me a lot more than any of the classes I took in the past year combined. Is this good? This is good. What am I looking at? This is code that converts between... So I guess I'm writing a compiler that translates C code into assembly. And there's an intermediate optimizer language. So the stuff I'm writing right now turns the C code into that optimizer language. Have you had an interview where you got grilled on something but you listed but couldn't speak about it? No. I think I've always been pretty generous with what I put on my resume, at least. Oh, I need to do this value resolution thing. Maybe I should make like a make value helper. I might actually do that. That seems like a very good idea. Let's do value. We can generalize that later when we get there. Have you always been a yapper? I am also very introverted. I just find it easier to talk to people on the internet. And like communication skills don't necessarily correlate with extroversion. Like, there's this whole it's at the end of the day, like business yap is like, it's very formulaic and like you can like kind of, I think it's like pretty easy to at least like become familiar with it just because like business is kind of gamified. So like it's not that hard to learn, and you could definitely like get better at it. Introversion and extroversion doesn't necessarily correlate to communication ability. It just, all it means is like whether talking to people energizes or makes you tired, or energizes you or makes you tired. Do energy drinks help? Should I sacrifice 3 hours of sleep to study for trade school classes? The sleep is honestly more important. Like sometimes if you need to like, if you really need to like get something done, then like fair enough. But I think the sleep will make everything in the future way easier. And like energy drinks don't really make you more, like they don't make you less tired, they just make you more awake. So you'll be like, you won't be feeling like fresh, you'll just feel awake but really tired. And like that's arguably worse. Yeah, the pulley system is like a really good another good example of like a project. What do you suggest for a sophomore interested in CS, trying to get into a good college but doesn't know a lot? Just make things. Follow tutorials online to learn things like web development or like even just like simple toy projects, and then use those skills to like make your own projects. Regardless of CS education, I think the most learning happens when you're working on projects. Is math important? I think it is very important. It's important in CS. I wouldn't necessarily say it's important in like software engineering, depending on what you want to do specifically. Because CS is like the literal computer science, which is more academic, I guess. And a lot of the theory does have its roots in math. So it is important if you want to like, I guess like the more academic-y sort of the CS stuff you want to do is, the more important math is. But if you want to just like do web development, then it's like significantly less important. Like you could probably get by with pretty much just like high school algebra even. If I'm correct, it's not the fact that you made a toy, but more so that you understand how it works and you can see the problems that arise. Yes, that is like a very large part of the learning. It's also useful in the sense that like you can market impact for your resume as well. Okay, binary op instruction. This is, we need to get the two variables. So we're gonna do a little bit of duplicative code for better or for worse. Okay, I am actually just going to turn this into a helper, to be honest. Should I? No, that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna write duplicative code for now. It hurts my soul to do this, but maybe I'll like crack halfway through. It'll be really funny. What language is this? This is C++. What college did you go to? I currently attend Northwestern University. Okay, so we want the load. We don't care about the store. Yeah, so we have this load. Otherwise, we have this thing. Yeah. Okay, it didn't even take me like 20 seconds to 20 seconds to crack. I am going to write a helper function. Yeah, so let's throw this up here, I guess. So we want mr value star. We want this. What do we call this? Let's call it resolve value, or resolve atom, I guess. Atoms, and this takes an atom star. I guess A. We'll call it A. Okay, that's fine. So we can yank this. What's the best extracurricular that got you into college? I did a lot of high school debate, and that helped a lot because I also did a little bit of, when I went to college, I contacted our director of debate, and I debated for Northwestern for like 1.5 years roughly. So that carried me a lot. Some other things I did were like tennis and like a CS-ish club. So we want atom val equals A, get value, oh wait, no, A. Wait, this is just A, right? Yeah, this is just A, yeah. So A is a that. So we have a load. And we need to push back that load, but then we can just return the load, I think. But then this doesn't exist. So we want a dot get value. Oh, this needs to be. Okay, I need to move this into the visitor, actually, it turns out. Where do I put this? Let's put it up a little bit. Let's put it here. Yeah, let's put it here. What are you coding? I am making a compiler that goes from, or that translates C code into x86-64 assembly. Am I a scumbag? No. You can be whatever you want. Oh, I need to throw a visitor thing on here. And this is oh yeah, this I need to delete that. But I need to keep the bin op instruction. Why are you not using AI? Because the whole point of this is for me to learn. And I feel like just punching everything in by hand will teach me more than just vibe coding at all. I think if I were to use an LLM, I would definitely work faster, and I would maybe get this project pushed out faster, but I would learn significantly less from it. So I want to write more of it by hand. The Apple compiler, there's Swift compiler. Or I guess compiler for the Swift language. I need to make this a thing. That is what I'm missing here at the top. But down here, this is pretty straightforward. And then this is a get value. I can delete that. And then in here, we return value. I think, yeah. Yeah, okay, this makes sense. Do you think AI will replace CS majors? I think they will do the opposite. I saw this really funny LinkedIn post where, or it was on Twitter, I think, but this guy was like, what's the point in vibe coding everything if you need to hire a developer to fix your vibe coded mess anyway? And I think like AI tooling is exactly that. It is just a tool. It is not really a replacement, but it will make development faster. That's my current opinion, at least. We'll see what happens in a year. There's been a lot of promises made around AI, and a lot of them have not been fulfilled, and that leaves me very skeptical for how much more exponential growth we can achieve, or if it is going to level off again. Thoughts on Vim as a skill on a resume? I mean, may as well. If you have the space, you may as well. It's 3 characters, and you can at least like flex it. This needs to go in a header. That is what I need to do. So we can put this here. Oh wait, what? Okay. Oh, I see. Whoops. There we go. Okay, so we have this thing made now. So let's get rid of this duplicative code that I did up here. So we need putter still. We need mir value equals resolve atom, and then this takes hr val, I believe. Big V, whoops. So we can skip a lot of this, but we just need to make the store now, I believe. But that's pretty easy, because we already wrote the code for it down here. Yeah. So we can even just get rid of this now. And this simplifies things a whole lot, actually. Yeah. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, if y'all are still here, I'll probably wrap up at the end of the hour. It just occurred to me that I've streamed for an hour longer than I usually do. But, yeah, y'all are a great audience. Thank you for being here. It really does keep me, going, and it keeps me sane. It's really easy to just, like, go insane staring at the same error over and over. What's good, 360 sauce? Good to see you here. What do you think your skill level with compilers is? I think I'm still very much at a beginner level. If you were to like do like the 1 out of 4 or like 1 out of 5 ranking that like you have to do on like job apps for like language where it's like proficiency, I'd say I'm like a solid like 2 right now. There is so much to learn, and there's so much that I don't know. The fact that I can like raw dog a lot of this, I think without any like reference resource, makes me think I'm not a 1. But I also know there is so much that I have not worked with yet. How do you know what's going on there and what to change? A lot of it is just like kind of like internalizing the logic behind what I'm trying to write. And then some of it's just like context from like C++ knowledge. Yeah, I mean this looks complex, but it's really just a lot of boilerplate. Like it's just like a couple of getters. I think the most complicated thing here is just that I'm using the visitor pattern, which is very polarizing. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people think it's just unnecessary complexity. I think it's kind of just an inevitability for like compiler design, so it is what it is. But yeah, it really is just like a lot of slush. So let's get left equals resolve atom, and then we pass in Oh wait, we can even just like retrain car this. Yeah, I'm gonna retrain car this. Sorry guys. And then this turns into I get value. Did you do CS before college? I took the 2 AP CS classes, but that's about it. I did not write code in my free time whatsoever. What is happening here? Oh, I forgot that. But this needs to take I get left, I believe. And then get value. Get value? Yes, get. No, just that. I also think this means I don't need this. Oh, I lied, because yeah, that needs that, because that's the value mapping. But this one I don't need. I just pass in the literal atom. Are you going through any books to learn, or just trying to do a project? I'm reading through like the SSA book on the side to learn more about the middle end. But the rest of the stuff I'm kind of just coasting off of like the knowledge I've had from the one class I have taken, and then like a little bit of supplemental reading here and there. I've been trying to learn to code more again for the last 1.5 months, and it seems so much more high level than what I've been doing lately. I think like a lot of tutorials will be sufficient for getting started. And like even if you feel out of depth right now, I guarantee that in like a year you'll look at this and you'll have like some idea of what's happening if you're diligent. Hopefully this at least has like some value, though, at least even if you're a little bit lost, whether it be like me explaining what my code's trying to do or just like the conversations around here. I am writing a compiler. What's the best CS course you've taken out of school? The biased answer would be the compilers class I took. The unbiased answer would be a class that was about testing. It contained info about like, or just like general, like it contained info about like software quality practices. So like unit testing, testing in general, mocking, BDD, test-driven development, that whole shebang. There's just like a lot of stuff that I felt was very industry relevant that most classes, let alone like most schools, don't even begin to cover. We can change this to the right. Learning coding using C as a language, I would not suggest that. There's just a lot of like complexity to handle at once. I think a better language to start with would be like Python, which the floor is I guess like the floor to entry is literally at the floor, and a lot of the moving parts that you would have to worry about in C are already handled for you by the language. So things like memory management, where in C you have to literally call a function to allocate memory, and then you have to like call another function to like free the memory again. And that's very prone to like a lot of mistakes even for like experienced programmers. Whereas like a language like Python would handle that for you automatically, and you wouldn't have to like really worry about memory for the most part. Yeah, malloc and free are, they do what they say. Unfortunately, humans are imperfect creatures. What else do I need? I need the op. Do I need a thing to convert the op? Oh, I need a thing to convert the op. Okay. How do you stay organized? I use Notion, but it's like kind of bad. I'm not gonna like put that on stream because there's some like private stuff I don't want to share. But it's just like, it's a calendar, or it's like one big database. It has things marked as like to do / upcoming, and then like due today, and then like completed. I have a calendar view for it, so I know, I guess which days things are supposed to be done by, and then I have like a Kanban board below that, to sort of like organize at a more granular level. I imagine from that description you can probably create some sort of structure for yourself. Are you trying to focus on compiled languages, or would you want to learn to make interpreters too? For now, I'm mostly focused on compiled languages. I imagine an interpreter wouldn't be... I guess an interpreter would be kind of the same thing. It's just like you would have a runtime to worry about. Interpreters are also like, I think, generally easier to write. But yeah, I think the big reason I want to focus on the compiler proper is because I want to write optimizations. We can actually change this from to MIR type. Let's just make this to MIR. And then we can have it more consistent, I guess. Let's search for to MIR type. Oh yeah, I have that in there, I see. So let's get rid of that. Yeah, these are good, this one is not good. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so then... What else do I want to make here? Okay, I need to do the same thing for operator now. So we can do this. And this also, like, as a little aside, you may be looking at this, at least like in the type implementation, for instance, you might look at this and you're like, this is very duplicative. Why are we turning an int64 into an int64? And that is like a good question. I thought about that a lot. The reasoning is because I want to decouple the front end from the middle end. Because the idea is if I wanted to like support another language, that might not necessarily support the same type systems. So it would make more sense for me to like maybe just duplicate code for now, even if it means there is some duplicative code. It's, in my opinion, it would be better design because we're separating, I guess we're separating all the front end stuff from the middle end stuff. So if I were to like, say, extend this compiler to support like Go, for instance, there might be like some incompatibility in the type systems that I don't know about. And I would have to like mess with like the C side as well to resolve that. And it would just be cleaner if I just separated it out completely. That is like the high level rationale I have, at least. Operator. So we wanted to copy the to MIR thing. Let's do that. How do we want? Where did the ops live in here? The ops. operator. Did I import in the other one? Is that how I got? Yeah. Okay. Middle end. Let's take MIR and then operator. Middle end. Binary op, I guess. Sure. This is a little bit messy though. I'm gonna do the same change I did in type at least. Make this MIR as well. Yeah, so I need to fix that there. This will go here, I guess. And it's a pretty simple change. We just extend the namespace. And that fixes itself, but I need to fix it in here as well. There we go. Yeah, so now we need to implement that. And this is the wrong directory. So that goes here, it looks like? Yeah. So we switch block on op. Let's go in case, binary. You can just copy this above boilerplate. So we want middle end, MIR, binary op, add. Yeah, this is gonna be a little bit annoying, but just bear with me here. So add sub mul, and then we want and oh, these need bra. There we go. So yeah, that seems roughly right. And now that that's implemented, we can finally go back here. That's the same directory. We can go back here. And then we can get the op. We want MIR instruction. So that takes a type, op, left, and right. So we have left, right, type we have because we only have one type right now. So then what we're missing is MIR, binary op, pop, and then this one is to MIR, and then this takes op, or I get op. So now we just need to make the instruction that takes these three things. Bin op. So this is a new instruction binary op. Let's get rid of some of this boilerplate though. So this takes type. We have type. Where did type go? Type. I just said the word type too many times. So then this takes op, left, right. Yeah, that actually seems like about it for this one. Yeah, the rest of these these I still need to do before I can like test, but that would be a fun activity for next time, at least. Is this everything I need? I have the... I store the result of the binary operation in a temporary variable, and then I store that value into the memory, the stack variable. In theory, at least. Oh wait, I need to actually put the thing into the instruction list. What are you using the visitor pattern for? It's, I guess, the cleanest way to separate out like traversals over instructions, I guess. It's a pretty common theme in compiler design because then you can, the idea is then you can decouple things from like the actual IR implementations. So instead of like each of these nodes having like a code gen, so I guess like the naive way to go about it would be to have each of these like instruction classes have its own code gen function, its own like toString, and like those two are fine, but then what happens is you get to the point where you start running like analyses and like transformations over things, and then like, so then you like start adding like handle constant fold operation, or like handle XYZ analysis, and at that point the problem is that your code is very tightly coupled. It's like a ball of yarn, and you're not really able to like separate functionality very well. So the more paradigmatic way to do to I guess engineer this would be to use the visitor pattern, because then you can separate each of those out into its own visitor. Yeah, it's also important for like making targets like language agnostic in a way. So like an example is like with like if I were to like make codegen a function, that would only support like one language. So if I were to like add a new language, I'd have to like add a completely separate another function to the thing, or I'd have to like have a giant if tree inside the existing function, and that's just like kind of messy. So it's easier and cleaner to just separate it out into its own visitor, I guess. I explained that like a little bit poorly, but I think hopefully that like makes some degree of sense. So we want to push back store. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think this is where I'm going to call it for today, though. I've been streaming for 3 hours, and my voice is not used to talking for this long. This always happens. My voice ends up rising like 2 octaves across the stream. So yeah, thank you all for sticking with me this whole time. If you're new here, make sure you sub to my channel. Make sure y'all like the stream as well. It helps out a lot with the algorithm. While you're down there, make sure you join the Discord. The link is down there. That's the best place to get notified when I go live, and also the best place to interact with the community. And also make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn and follow me on GitHub. And if you know anyone that works in a compiler position, please send my resume their way, or give me a referral or something. So, thank you all. It's been a good stream. Take care and take it easy.